Hey guys, it's Miko from ML Sound Lab, and today we'll be making the best drum kits in the world with ML drums, and I'm giving the preset to you for free. ML drums, we have several releases out, we have so many snares, we have so many kicks, we have everything going on right now. I want to know what are the best sounds in here, if there can be a subjective or objective best. We'll find that out, but let's try and use some kind of logic for finding the best sounds we can. Now let's start going through the kicks first, and I will be using Supervision, which is a stock plugin for Cubase. You can use any analyzer for the same purpose, but this is really handy for kind of helping you hear things better or just see things better. That works too. Okay, so this is the grit kick. Now the strength of the grit kick is that it has a lot of information down here, like several different punchy frequencies in the low end, while if you pick something else like the next kick, you can clearly see that there really is like one or two different punchy frequencies in the low end. So that's the first thing. I want to have a full low end, but that low end is not everything. It is the most important thing for the kick, but also at the same time, the high end needs to be somewhat smooth. And right now we're just listening to the close mic of the kick. We need to hear the room too. But let's start with the close mic. That is very important for the kick. Lux. Okay, I love the B91A mic overall because it does just this. It kind of makes the low end this one punchy thing, and in general, if you have a frequency roll-off from your low end coming like this, it tends to kind of have this kind of epic oomph effect. I don't have a better word for describing that. So that is a cool thing and good thing, and it adds a nice sustain to your low end kicks. The high end is, it's okay. Not very bright. The high end is better here, but the low end potentially needs a little bit of EQ. But that's actually pretty cool. 602. This seems quite similar to the previous one. How about the good old blue kick? Not a huge fan of the high end here, but the low end is amazing. That is actually pretty much perfect. So just like with grit, several different punchy frequencies, but also this nice frequency roll-off for the low end. I think we had better kicks. This is the free kick that everyone has, and man is it good. As you can see, it kind of has this frequency roll-off thing that I was talking about before. Also has several punchy frequencies. And the high end is, it almost sounds like a trigger. Man, that is good. That is not as good. This is potentially more like a vintage type kick sound. Not really going for that right now. And the Yams kicks, I know these are some of the best ones. Oh, that is good. This oomphy thing is going way down to like 500 hertz. This is probably my favorite kick. I feel like these have the same character to them. but there's some ring to the kick. If you can listen to it sustain. I think the muffler had more. And Grit also had some sustain to the kick. I think I prefer the Yams kicks over everything. I also like the free kick that everyone has. Maybe the high end is a little bit clicky and there's no sustain to the kick, while that has that kind of a sustain to the kick. Yeah, that's the one. The muffler, officially the best kick in ML drums right now. Remember, we're just listening to the close mics at this point. Turning off all the processing. Turning off the compression. Just want to hear the raw sample of the snare. This is Grit. Now Grit is special in that it actually has processing to it because it's going through analog chains. So it's going through analog compressors and pre's and all sorts of amazing saturation that you want to have in there for that kind of pack. It's purposefully a part of that pack. Will not be a part of these other snares in here. So just so you know. Then we have the Black Beauty. Oh, I love the depth of that. That might be it. Now, I think we need to discuss a little bit about what we're trying to find here first. So, overall, I like a low-pitched snare, and for a low-pitched snare, I don't really like it to ring in a nasty way, because that ring really cuts through in the mix in a bad way. So if I can find a low-pitched snare that doesn't have an annoying ring to it, but still has a bright character, that's what I'm looking for. And let's go find some snares. I think that pitch still works, but it's getting a little bit high. Okay, that's a cool sound. I mean, we could go all the way. If I was making new metal, that would be likely the snare that I go with. But I'm trying to find a really good rock, metal, modern kind of a snare sound. So a low pitch would be the one to go for. .247. I think this is probably a little bit too low. You can actually see in the visual guide that we have this resonance because we are tuning it super low, and that resonance goes away once we take it up just a little bit, and this ring is not as bad. So that's the leader right now. So 247. This is the same snare drum with a dry head, so it doesn't ring that much. Personally, I actually love the ring, so I want to have it in there. So I'm not gonna be that interested in the Black Beauty with the dry head. What about the Black Magic? Man, that's good. Wow, these are so close. Okay, so on the Black Beauty itself, I feel like it has a little bit more low-end oomph to it so I'm gonna pick that one, while the Black Magic actually had an amazing crack to it. So it likely cuts better in the mix, but I just love that oomph. Let's pick some other snares now. Man, that is good. Superphonic. Cool sound again, but not what I'm looking for right now. 247. Okay, I think you can actually hear the snares better because it's kind of a smaller depth on this snare. You can hear the actual snare wires crackling more. Not sure I like that. Oh, the hand hammered one. Man, these are tuned well. Still more low-end emphasis on the Black Beauty. But a lot more punch on this hand-hammered one. They're super close though. How about some of these other ones? I feel like this snare doesn't have that low end. These are the old version 1 snares. Yams, Fate No More. This one doesn't ring. Nice crack, but doesn't ring. It's pretty good. Very different. A little bit difficult to actually compare these two. I do like the sound of this a little bit more, but it doesn't have any of that low end. We are looking for that low end punch, so it's not going to be that one either. Nah. And this is the small snare. Okay, as boring as it could be, going with the industry standard Black Beauty. That's what we're going with. It just sounded the best. Now, how about the toms? Ooh. So the Lux, based on Ludwig, unsurprisingly sounds vintage. Grit sounds very processed. Almost like a Slipknot type sound. I'm gonna go with the Essentials tom. Just, it's lower, has an amazing ring, in tune. I'm gonna go with that one. I feel like I probably have to go with the same shells, so they sound like they're from the same family, sort of. The attack is so different in all of these. These top toms don't actually have to be from the same kit. Vintage. is actually better. I'm gonna go with the yams, toms on the rack toms. Again, quite vintage. I mean, that's a lot better. Am I really gonna pick one of the toms to be from a different kit? No, I'm not. Because you can hear that these are actually tuned so that they are essentially creating a chord. So I'm actually gonna go with the essentials. Yeah. So already we have essentials toms, we have the yams kick, we have the luck snare. We're getting somewhere. Best hi-hat. Tiny sound. I really like to have some low end on the hi-hat. Okay, that's pretty good. It's gonna be a Byzance or the free hi-hat. Oh. Byzance. That's the hi-hat that I really like. See if I have a... Oh, this is so much tighter though. You know, I'm actually gonna go with the Byzance just because it's louder. The close hi-hats are louder, and that's many times the thing that I struggle with in the mixes, and also I prefer the open sound of the Byzance, so I'm gonna pick that one. That is from the milled pack, the main crash. I like that. Trying to get some visual guidance for what to choose. This one rings quite weirdly, doesn't explode as much. I think I like this the most. Yeah, that's the best one. Weird ring to it. I feel like the grit pack on its own, if you have everything grit, it's amazing, but if you mix it in here, it's weird to have something that's super processed in comparison to the other kit. So maybe for that reason I'm not using any of the grit samples in this demonstration, but hey. Once again, I'm tied between the yams and the Byzance. The Byzance seems to be a little bit faster in its explosion, kind of whoosh, while the yams is sort of slower. Generally speaking, I like something that kind of explodes fast and then sustains. So for that reason, I seem to be really liking the Byzance cymbals that we have here. You know, this takes a little bit of time. Difficult to explain, but once you hit the crash, it takes some while for it to explode. While when you hit those bysands cymbals, they immediately explode and sustain. So they are kind of more attacky. Is that a word? Attacky. So, as boring as it is, it's going to be milled for that one too. Oh, I really like this one. I feel like these are too similar for me to have two of them in the kits, while this one is a really cool sounding cymbal. So I'm gonna pick that one in here. Actually, when it comes to the ride, I already know that I want to have a ride that also crashes. So the rides made by Sabian really don't crash that well. So I already know that I'm not gonna even try the Sabian ones marked S here. So it's gonna be the Zildjian or the Meinl. Oh man. It's not even fair. I have no words. Just so amazing sounding. The bell. You can hear it's already crashing. Kind of in a very cool way. This is very bright, and this is very washy. I think I actually like the brightness here better, because the way I use flashes are usually in kind of like a, when playing like a hi-hat groove, I'll quickly go to some splashes for some cool effects, and in those instances they do have to be bright and not so washy. We already have Chinas and things like that for the washiness, so I'm picking the bright one here. China. I love the frequency roll off here. And this is quite slow to explode again. I do this. They don't sound like they're from the same family now. So I'm actually gonna go with the Sabian. Oh, we have the bell for Sabian too. And then let's have a listen to all these. The China. That's cool. Too slow. That's what I'm going with. A lot faster to, once again, explode. Okay, so clearly two very different sounds. Let's think about this. If I play a Stax, do I want it to sustain or to be fast? I already have Chinas, so for that washy sound I'll go for a China, and if I want to have a Stax, I want it to be fast, so I'm going with the Sabian. Actually not even sure what it was because Janne made that one, but I believe it is a Sabian. Mini China. Okay, actually here I have the option to have the washier stacks here, and then I have the quick snappy stacks here. Slow, fast. So that's it. I'm actually gonna save this now. Save as Mikko's best drum kit. Okay, now for the most complicated part is to actually use the mixer page of EmoDrums to make this a usable sound. I will link the preset down below, but I think I'm gonna make a separate video of actually mixing because this will take a lot of time to do. I'm cutting this video short here. You already saw what I picked, and see you on the next video where I actually show you how I make these kit pieces work together. Thank you so much for watching this video. See you on the next one where I'll show you how to make this sound amazing. Thank you. Bye bye.